The one weakness for Cho'Gath in lane is his gank ability. He shoves fairly quickly with all of his spells, even if he has good dueling, and isn't very good at escaping ganks, which Gragas can bring fairly frequently.
The other thing is that if you can pressure him off of the minion wave, you can deny the main sustain that he has in his kit from the passive. And that is a big, big part due to the jungler matchups. Here we go, though. Haunter is going to get one of those semi-range matchups with Gnar to try and bully.
Gnar should be pretty solid into a fairly slow champion like the Cho'Gath. It is interesting to see that Ole has not grabbed his champion yet. They blinded the Cho'Gath, even though they know the bot lane they're against. Syndra comes through for Bjergsen, one of his most notable champions here in the mid lane, as TSM have rounded out the composition with, as you mentioned before, aggression and lane priority almost everywhere here, and that early pressure should be solid for TSM.
Yeah, Bjergsen with the Syndra is going to be strong in the team play, because up against Galio, it's very easy for Galio to buy an early Spectre's Cowl into an adaptive helm and pretty much ignore a lot of the damage Syndra can throw out there. So it's actually a fairly risky pick, I feel like, for Bjergsen to have the Syndra there in the mid lane.
So it looks like every single player on every single team has some form of hard crowd control. Persona just barely checks the box right there. And we'll see who can get the hard engages to come through, but it is Immortals. Though they have the Cho'Gath top to add a little bit, it is a lot of emphasis on Cody's Sun for the late game damage output. TSM much more well-rounded in that regard.
And with the last pick Morgana here, it also puts a lot of emphasis on the timings for Ole. Rakan, his initiations are so quick, you also have to worry about your spacing so that two members do not get caught up.
Yeah, Ole was playing Morgana before a lot of other guys were in the North American LCS. Even the Spring Split Ole, it almost seemed like he could only play those skill shot champions, and he's diversified a lot in the Summer Split, so definitely a lot of comfort there on the Morg. But as Kobe just mentioned, an incredibly high burden for execution against this TSM composition to get those black shields at just the right time.
So holding a level lead over his opponent. Wavler comes through, Ole wants a bind, gets it over the wall, lands it, forces the cleanse out. Bjergsen stays safe.
Still relatively big there, because Pobelter can use Flash Taunt on the Galio the next time Bjergsen's there and potentially force.
It is a possibility, even with the defensive wards, to slink around.
I'm so curious how this could play out, depending on if Ole and Cody's Sun hit 6 first. Right now, though, Spence Scarin is 6. He will walk through a control ward, but he would have to go straight away. Hasn't been spotted yet. Got to go.
All right, well, Black Shield is available. He's got to get somehow past Cody's Sun. Black Shield is late. He laid on the Black Shield. The Featherstorm could come through. Jumps away with the explosive cast. Grabs first blood. Cody's Sun just barely got his flashback. So goes down.
Two things happen.
Onto the bottom side, and now they have a little bit more information to work with.
Just wait for the bind now. The quickness is in. They've got a lot of damage, and Ole pops the Black Shield, stays alive, gets the ulti in as well. Forces them right back out, but now low health on double is forced to ulti away with the Featherstorm. But the rocket jump to chase. Here comes Galio and the TP flank for Cho'Gath. There is no way out for the TSM duo. This could be the first kill in for Immortals. They knock him down. Ole lands the binding. Now two alone under the turret. They're going to knock down Pobelter, push him into the wall. Haunter ends them with the setup. Low health, and Haunter with the boulder toss knocks one down. A 1-for-1 under the turret. Here comes Bjergsen. Immortals not a lot of ways out. Jumping back in, looking to knock down the mid lane. Another bind's going to land. The knockback. Cody's gets the kill and the reset, and Ole gets out. But Cho'Gath not going to stay alive. The Void Monster going to be knocked down by Haunter. 2 for 2 so far in this fight, and out goes the retreat.
Yep, they're not done yet. One boomerang slow does land, but the binding also disengages there, and Immortals get out. 2 for 2, pretty close there in the end, but man, that was an extremely deep dive by Immortals.
Yeah, and that's the fight we've been waiting for. We know Immortals has been pressuring that bottom lane turret, chipping away, trying to get the first turret.
As we go to the bot lane,
Cody's
Sun pretty much auto nearly kills the turret. But here comes the re-engage. No Black Shield behind, gets popped right away. Cody's Sun trying to run, and he barely flashes it away. The chase in, and Biofrost flashes in for the Gleaming Quill, and the auto attack for the kill. Now the re-engage as the Immortals want in. They will get the stun on a 1. But do they have the damage after the bind? They do not. So a 1-for-0 clean fight for TSM. The re-engage, they found Ole. The explosive cast pulls them back in. An absolute beauty out of TSM. Looking for a third, but Pobelter able to walk away. 2-for-0 TSM, still a great fight.
Biofrost is really making Immortals pay for letting them have this recon. Constant engagements, and now they're on the turret. It is dangerous. Smithy looking for an angle.
Waiting to defend if he has the damage of it, going right back in onto Svensker and forced to flash away, but he's knocked under the turret, and a trade kill comes in for Immortals, making it 2-for-1 overall. Flash away, just himself, and sweeps the ward out.
Meanwhile, still in the mid lane, we continually see Pobelter pushing the wave and trying to roam. Bjergsen is taking the CS lead in a fairly significant one, but it's trying to set up plays like this that's causing Immortals the extra pressure.
Smithy was caught up. Now they see Sven onto this one, 2v2, and there's now a knockup in towards Doblelift. Here comes the Arrows Edgers as well. They get the knockup, but no damage on the Xayah so far. The re-engages. Bjergsen has joined the fight as well, and the first one comes in for a double with the trade kill. As both junglers have fallen onto this one, TP going to be canceled out of the Cho'Gath. Flame wanted to join, but won't do so.
Now there's an advantage to teleport to TSM. You have to worry about Hanser coming in.
Yeah, TP disadvantage. You got to be careful pulling the trigger now if you're Immortals from the top side. Arn does so and buys enough time to clear the wave away. The turret just barely is in, and oh, the Grank came in, and Ole just died. For the unleashed power, down he goes.
I think that was a Bjergsen stun on the outside that caught him before he was able to get his black shield up. Wow, he gets 100% bursted down.
Yeah, we'll get a replay of that, but we've talked about the timing Ole needs to have on these black shields, and he has been consistent.
This one going to land, but it's still a very tanky pull belter. Hanser waiting in the wings. He's going to be jumped on. The hop goes back and forth, and the giant quickness coming through as well. The tank's still very durable in the front line, but they're going back into that one. The dunk coming through as well, and of course, Doblelift out of disengaged. Look at the damage output. They've knocked down 2. TSM picked them up. The flash to follow with the escape out of Immortals. Still 3 alive. The chase in. Looking for the slow onto Ole. And it's going to be a turn, looks like now towards Baron for TSM.
That was actually an incredibly controlled mid lane fight. You know, in playoffs, we've been used to seeing all these explosive and very chaotic ones, but TSM, even with Hanser coming in as mini-Gnar, were able to control it for long enough to get those 2 kills, and now the Baron is the next target.
They're all very healthy in a 5 versus 3. Flame is out of there. There is no smite to be had. This looks like Baron for TSM.
Completely clean, 9-4 in kills. Baron picked up 28.5 minutes in, even the clean smite out of Svenskar in the jungle. TSM looking poised to take game 1. I think keep this going.
Yeah, and here in that last fight, we kind of see the folly of the Jarvan Galio when you don't have any summoner spells down from the opponent. That immediate initiation was flashed right away, and then TSM got to manage the fight and control it from there.
They were able to keep in range. Good re-engage there from Biofrost, buying some extra time. Hanser built up his rage bar during it. Let's take another look here. Doblelift is the target, and he flashes instead of using his ultimate because they want to continue this fight. They want to re-engage after those big moves from Immortals have already been used. So Doblelift wants to keep his ultimate for the extra damage.
And because of the front lines, these fights have to go in several cycles, the layering of the CC again and again. But that re-engage by Immortals was what ultimately sealed it for TSM. TSM still had enough cooldowns there.
Bottom lane, but mid lane is the target.
As the blast, the jump engage, they look for the Shogun, look at the damage up, but Flame not quite gonna fall though. Explosive cast, still not enough, and he will stay alive for now. The re-engage, the taunt, the root onto the turret. Do they have the output though? They don't have Cody Sun just yet. He finally joins the fight, but Ole's dead, and so is Povo. The 2 for 0 redemption buys even more, and TSM yet another 2 for 0, almost getting the kill, and Cody Sun might just burn down, but the limited damage not quite enough.
Saved by nice vow from Smithy, but TSM knows exactly when to strike. They see there to shield him.
Smithy's low on health, but he does have the Flag and Drag if he wants to go for a steal. There's no vision right now, though, and here comes the chase in. Biofrost wants him. Black Shield gonna Flag and Drag away, meaning they can go for this one. The rushdown's gonna be there. The smite's gonna land, and Flame couldn't get there in time. So now a 5v5, but there's the Baron buff on. The first kill to Rakan, though, and Flame is tanky. Gets the chomp and buys a bit of time. 4v4 now the type. The fight keeps going. Powalter in the front. Cody Sun not touched as well, but who can get more damage from the marksman is now Immortals forced to run, but Powalter slowed down with a Frozen Mallet. He will die for this one, and a 4v3 on the map. Immortals forced to run away. Smithy, Cody Sun, and Ole now forced to defend their base. 2 inhibs down, and the TP coming in. Hanser wants to close down the base. Cody Sun gonna look for a pick on a Sven. He's gonna rocket up forward, look for the kills. Not quite gonna get it in the duel. Gonna be won by Double. The rest of the damage is there, and it's just time to close out the game. There's Baron buff super minions, and Hanser will walk them into the Nexus. TSM certainly going to secure game 1 of this series.
What an opening game here for TSM. Very controlled through the mid game, and they will be the victors.
3 to go to make it 3 in a row. They've got the first one, 2 more to be had.
Yeah, TSM definitely starting this series the way they wanted to. You're looking at Immortals as well. They'll have to find a